The unexpected lessons that OnlyFans taught me. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, hello, my name is Jasmine, and I'm so glad to have you. I have been a full-time content creator for the past 6 years. I started during COVID, and my first online business was OnlyFans. And I started during the pandemic, so when OnlyFans started jumping and everyone was talking about how much money women were making, at that time I absolutely hated my 9 to 5, and I've made videos about why I hated it. And so for me, it was the perfect opportunity to get the hell out of there, right? So I quit, I put in my 2 week notice while everything was locked down, started my OnlyFans, and I'm not gonna say it's been smooth sailing, but my life has definitely improved and by far the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. Now, OnlyFans taught me a lot of things about life that I didn't know. I'm 35 now. When I started my OnlyFans account, I was 29 going on 30. One of the first lessons that OnlyFans taught me is that you have to be okay with what you're doing, and you do not need the approval of other people in order to live your life. That was by far the biggest lesson I learned, because during that time I was very insecure, okay? I needed external validation. I was a people pleaser in my 20s. I needed people to like me. I needed friends because I just wasn't comfortable with who I was, right? There were just things about myself that I didn't like. And, I couldn't sit with self. I didn't know how to be by myself back then. I do now, but back then I didn't. And so OnlyFans taught me how to be comfortable with self because of the stigma that comes along with having an OnlyFans. When I quit my job, the people closest to me, so friends and family, they didn't agree with that decision. They thought it was stupid. And I had a decent paying full-time job. Okay, I think I was making like 60,000 a year base, and then like once you added in overtime and stuff, I think I was sitting around like 65 to 70,000 a year. And so that job required me to go to school and get a bachelor's degree. And so people just couldn't understand why I would leave this stable job, this good job with benefits and great pay, to go do OnlyFans. No one agreed with it. Everyone thought it was stupid. And so it forced me to be by myself. It forced me to accept the fact that people may not agree with the life decisions that you make, but they don't have to. As long as you agree with those things, as long as you can sleep with yourself at night, right? That's really all that matters. As long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting others, then that's all that matters. And so OnlyFans kind of pulled me out of that mindset of needing validation from other people, and it taught me how to validate myself, right? And that is by far one of the biggest lessons that I think a lot of people should learn in life, but unfortunately most people do not learn that. Most people care way too deeply about what people think of them. And I used to as well. Most people care way too deeply about what people think of them. Most people, they do things to appease others instead of doing things that will appease themselves. So by far one of the biggest lessons. Another lesson that OnlyFans taught me, this is more of a business lesson. OnlyFans taught me the importance of marketing and promoting yourself all day long. Okay, when I first started during the pandemic, I didn't have to do nearly as much work as I have to do now. And that's because the economy was booming. I started making money within 2 months of doing OnlyFans. I think by month 3, I was making $5,000 a month, which was more than what I made at my 9 to 5. And I didn't work all day, like at all. But that's just because people had way more money to spend. Like there was so much money being dumped into the economy, right? Like unemployment, PPP loans, stimulus checks, right? Everyone was just balling out of control. And so, I didn't have to do much of anything, and I would make a lot of money. Right? I still made content, but I wasn't promoting myself on multiple platforms. I wasn't trying to be creative on what kind of content to make to get around, the rules and guidelines of different platforms. I wasn't doing any of this that I'm doing now. Absolutely not. And so when the economy dried up, I don't think it's dry. Like people still have money, right? People are still going on vacations. People are still door dashing. People are still buying off TikTok Shop. People are going to different carnivals and festivals and stuff. The economy, people still have money, right? But it is definitely harder to get the money out of people, right? Because so many people have cut back on expenses. And so that has forced me to learn the art of marketing, to learn the art of promoting. And I learned all that through OnlyFans. There are so many OnlyFans creators. Like, it's crazy. I didn't know this to be true. I read an article that said the average OnlyFans creator makes $60 a month. I had no clue. So when I read that, I was like, wow, like that really put things into perspective for me because I make way more than $60 a month. And that is because I have learned the art of marketing and promoting and being everywhere all day long. I post multiple times a day. I have multiple accounts on each platform. Like I have multiple TikToks, multiple YouTube channels, multiple Instagrams, multiple Twitters. What else is there? I have so many accounts. I'm pushing out so much content. I have Facebook. I have so much content that I'm pushing out every single day, just to bring in fans. Plus, I spend money on ads to bring in even more fans. And then when you get the fans in there, you got to get them to tip. You have to get them to spend. You have to get them to upgrade to your paid page if you have one. Like, there's so many things that you have to do in order to make money online. And I don't think most people know that. And OnlyFans taught me that. And I was actually able to carry that same knowledge that I learned from OnlyFans into my online coaching business. There's a reason why I post multiple times a day. There's a reason why I make multiple YouTube channels. There's a reason why I was going live, right? I learned all that through OnlyFans. I learned all of that through OnlyFans. How I grew my OnlyFans business is exactly how I'm building my coaching business. And that is by far one of the most valuable lessons that I think a lot of entrepreneurs need to learn, but unfortunately most don't know that. A lot of people think that you only have to post once every other day or once a week, once a month, and the product will sell itself. Girl, please. The product ain't selling itself. You got to sell it. And you sell it through marketing, getting as many eyeballs on your content, on your product as humanly possible every single day for a very long, extended period of time. That's how you sell anything, whether it's online or in person. Most of your time will be spent on marketing, then perfecting whatever the product is. And the quicker you can accept that and apply it, the quicker you will make money online. Another lesson that OnlyFans taught me, I don't know if this is necessarily specific to OnlyFans or just entrepreneurship in general. It taught me self-development. It gave me the freedom to self-develop. There were a lot of things internally that I was struggling with. I told you guys, people pleasing, not being comfortable with sitting with self, needing validation from others, right? I also struggled a lot with confidence, not thinking that I was enough, always feeling like I had to perform. And I went to counseling, and I've shared that story in other videos. And in counseling, I healed, I let things go. I got a better understanding of why I am the way I am and how to move forward. And I started losing weight. I lost 100 pounds. I started growing my online business. I started to see myself in a different light than what I saw myself when I first started 6 years ago. And that was a whole self-development journey. And the only reason why I had the time to self-develop was because I have an online business. The only reason why I was able to afford to self-develop is because I had an online business. And the reason why I say afford, I don't think you need to spend a whole bunch of money in order to self-develop. But there were just certain things that I was able to do, able to afford because I have an online business and because I make the money that I make. One of the things being a personal trainer. I had been trying to lose weight for years before I finally did, and I was unsuccessful at every single attempt. But when I hired a personal trainer, I learned what I didn't know about weight loss. I had someone watching me work out. I had someone holding me accountable. That one cost money, and then two, it actually got me the results that I needed to get in order to feel better about my body. Therapy, being able to afford health insurance, to get counseling every 2 weeks. One of the things that I was very insecure about was my smile. I had braces, I had a front tooth knocked out, my teeth were extremely yellow, and so I hated my smile. And OnlyFans allowed me the opportunity to go and get my teeth done, so it fixed the one insecurity that I had about myself that made me feel better about myself. There's just so many things that OnlyFans allowed me to do that I don't necessarily know if I'd be able to do it if I had the 9 to 5 that I had that I hated so much. It got me out of that toxic environment. I don't think you can self-develop in a toxic environment, something that is stealing your energy from you and draining you every single day, like how my job was. That would have been damn near impossible. Now, if your job doesn't drain you, well, then that's different. But I hated my job. My job did drain me. I was crying all the time. I wouldn't have been able to self-develop in that type of environment. I also had more freedom than what I had at that job. I'm so active today. I walk a lot. I go to the gym. I cook my own meals. Like these things take time to do, and I would not have had that time to do those things working that particular 9 to 5, right? So I just think that OnlyFans allowed me the opportunity to self-develop and find myself and become the woman that I am today because of the freedom that it allowed me to have. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that you can't do these things and have a job. People do it every day. I'm just talking about for myself and just where I was at the job that I had versus where I am today, and how I just feel like OnlyFans allowed me the opportunity to do that. So, regardless of the stigma that OnlyFans may have to some people, it was by far the best decision that I ever made for myself. I don't regret not 1 minute of it. I've learned so much from it. It has improved my life, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to read what you have to say. Also, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And do not forget to join my Patreon. The link is down below in my description. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.